TV presenter, social media star, and travel agent to the stars. Today I'm with Dan Fraser from Smiling Albino. We're at the fabulous Ritz-Carlton Residences at Bangkok at Mahanakorn Tower, and you are watching Trends. So Dan, what inspired you to set up Smiling Albino?
In a word, curiosity. I had been a traveler and have been a traveler since childhood, and it doesn't matter where I went, whether it was Cuba, Australia, Europe, Southeast Asia, I always thought creating these magical experiences that almost seem to be serendipitous, spontaneous, that somehow needs to fit into organized, what they call, the tourism industry. So many years ago, 25 years ago, my former business partner and myself, his name was Scott, we were in Canada and we just thought, Southeast Asia is so enigmatic, so fascinating. Thailand particularly is so many layers, so deep, so rich. But it seemed to us that most travelers joining tourism-led expeditions were really doing the same things. Elephants, beach, buffet. And we had ridden motorcycles around Thailand, mountain bikes around Thailand. We'd been to the highways and byways, and we thought there's just something curiously fascinating that hasn't yet been done. And so we thought, well, why not? Let's throw our hat in the ring and create something that hadn't been done. And we really thrived on the idea of creating experiences for people that they could never possibly create on their own, often beyond the scope of tourism. And that could range from anything from a spontaneous rock concert in the forest to, which we've done several times, to transforming the adventure holiday into a Hollywood film type epic where you don't realize that some of the people around you are actors and things are taking place. So the idea for Smiling Albino was really beyond tourism. So I'd almost say we didn't set out to get involved in tourism. We set out to create truly fabulous experiences. And that's what we're doing now.
And Smiling Albino, truly fabulous experiences, are they now being crafted around sustainability? Because sustainability is really impacting the travel and hospitality industry.
I'm glad you used that word because we didn't know what that meant 24 years ago. Yeah. We wanted to be robust, we wanted to be ethical, we wanted to be honorable, but I don't think we knew what sustainability was. One of the first things that Smiling Albino did, ironically, and this is a very sustainable practice now, but then it was instinct to us, is it seemed that what people would call suppliers, to us is the value chain, the drivers, the guides, your vendor for bicycles. We would all ask them, what do you want to be paid? Okay, and we'll pay you that within reason. Yeah. We never had anyone doing contracting, right? Forcing low dollar pricing, which I know that the industry tends to do that, but it was just something we never thought of because we wanted to make sure when we show up, we have the best bicycles or the best seat in the restaurant because local partners in this whole experience chain are being treated well, but also paid well. And now people would call that a sustainable practice. We just called it the right thing to do. So I think everything we've always tried to do is are we really honoring the local area, the local environment, the local community, the local culture? We've been very lucky, David. We have clients from around the world who are ultra high net worth people. When we bring them to Thailand or Cambodia or Vietnam, wherever we go, we want to make sure that they experience ground level culture, whether that be a noodle shop or a bicycle ride into the countryside, and support local vendors, local businesses. We take billionaires for street side noodles and have a 30-baht beer sing from a little mom and pop shop. And to us, that's the ultimate way of converting this luxury meets local experience. And that's sustainable, we've always felt. So, yep, day one to day, I guess we're now 24 years in, we absolutely look at that and say, how do we maximize the benefit for everybody? Not just for us, not for the client, but for everyone. So yeah, it's sustainable.
So when you sort of came into the tourism industry, was that also at the same time when you were the darling of Tourism Authority of Thailand. You know, you've been a TV presenter. You were big at the early days on social media, and I saw a video on a VHS tape recently where it's an incredible TAT, I think TAT produced video.
The ad where I'm running around Thailand.
That's right, and all around Thailand and all the experiences, brilliant. So was that your first foray into Thailand, and Smiling Albino came from that, or from you being a early social media influencer, or did that follow you setting up Smiling Albino?
It's a great question.
What came first?
It's a great question. The very first
Stardom or tourism?
I wouldn't say stardom. The very first time I came to Thailand was 1995. I had the opportunity of a lifetime, and again, I've been blessed. I've been very lucky. I was in university in a philanthropic organization that had a long relationship with the royal family of Thailand, and I was invited to work in the palace, the King's Palace, in 1995 as an English teacher in his private school. And to me, that was an incredible introduction because I was working in these various palace offices and the Krongan Luang, the development projects around the country, and I felt like I got to see Thailand naively, but from the inside looking out. And not like an expat and not like a tourist, but I thought, I feel like I've experienced something really special here. I've seen a different part of Thailand differently. And so that was the, if you will, that was the genesis, that was the idea for, in the future, it would be fun to create a travel business that made people feel like that, almost the fast track into a secret Thailand that isn't about beaches or necessarily visiting the Grand Palace or a shopping center. Those things are all wonderful, but to me it was more nuanced than that. And so Scott, my business partner, and I came up with the idea many years later of starting a business that made people feel like real insiders. So that came first. And being curious and hungry and having absolutely no experience in travel whatsoever, the industry that is, we did what came naturally to us, and that was create amazing experiences and try and brag about them. and thankfully the TAT, they loved what we were doing, and they asked me to do as you saw, that wild commercial where I'm running all over Thailand and jumping off elephants and into forests, and that was great. And I've had 300 and some episodes of mostly Thai language speaking documentary series. That came from Smiling Albino. So Smiling Albino came first. And the opportunities in media, which I'm grateful for, something you know a great deal about, obviously, that doesn't just pop on your lap. You have to search for it. And Smiling Albino was my springboard to go and do that. And thankfully, we've been able to bring those two things together for the benefit of our guests, and I hope for the benefit of Thailand, that high net worth clientele learn about those shows, or they learn about the things we've done, and say, can you take me to that village in Phrae or Nakhon Si Thammarat where they're doing this unique agro farming? And so I'm able to bring these guests from Canada, where I'm from, or America, or England, or Saudi Arabia, into really local, and I mean hyper-local, experiences. And so I feel like in a way I'm blessed that I'm combining Smiling Albino travel and the media life I've created into one that hopefully everybody wins.
What's the best experience you were offering last year? So if there was a Smiling Albino top seller, most interesting tour you launched, or experience I should say, launched in 2023, what would that be?
Wow, such a great question. In Thailand or regionally?
Anywhere regionally.
Okay.
I think I know what it would be, but what is it?
We have, it's a great question because I get to think about all the things we've done in the last year. Obviously, launching the Bensley Art Trail experience is fantastic because Bill Bensley, he's a mentor and a hero and just a fantastic guy.
What does that actually comprise of?
Right. Experiencing the Bill Bensley properties and hotels, whether it's in Thailand, Laos, Cambodia. We choose 2 or 3 properties over an 8-day span. Bill will co-host the trip and host art clinics for people who have a desire to be in art but aren't necessarily artists. And it's a way to not only connect the guest with the hotel and the local community, Luang Prabang Lao is a great example, but also learn one of Bill's great passions, which is painting and art, and how that can then benefit the local community and economy, because those will eventually be auctioned off at the end of the trip or at an event that Bill will host, and all of those benefits go to the Shintamani Foundation in Cambodia. So to me, it just checks all these boxes of great experience, beautiful hotels, luxury, immersion in local culture, communicating with Bill Bensley at the best of times is zany and fun anyway, but when he's teaching an art class, it's really special. And then it's that virtuous cycle where the end user benefit is the local community. So it brings it all together. So that's a highlight for sure.
One of my other questions was, do you think digital and
AI and
generative artificial intelligence, AI, will impact your business? But thinking about it, you're not a Tom and Dick Tamada tour operator, and I think AI is being quoted as providing a personalized, deeper experience. You're already providing that, and I think AI is trying to provide that for these mass tour operators, but you don't need that. You're already providing a very customized, personalized travel experience, aren't you?
We feel insulated, luckily, because what we do is very high touch and it's low volume. It's everything's a one-off, we say. I think to broaden that for a moment, I think AI and what digitally generated content can disrupt the middle of the market, the mass market, because now anybody can create a travel itinerary going on and doing it. Creating a truly meaningful, life-changing adventure with hijinks and surprises and clever choreography, it's never going to be able to do that. If it could create the content, it wouldn't be able to deliver the experience. And so for us, I wouldn't say we're not paying attention to it, because it's so new that who knows what'll happen 18 months from now. But we don't feel threatened by it in any way. We feel actually quite intrigued. Isn't this interesting? You can learn all these things, I just don't think it's going to affect the high touch side of the market, David. But as you said, I think if you're catering to the masses and you're an online booking platform, there's a disruption taking place. It's hard to see what the results of that will be just yet, but certainly pay attention to it. Yeah.
Smiling Albino experiences in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
What's to come?
Well, absolutely. Less is more, meaning we're focusing more on very discerning clients, not necessarily always the ultra high net worth, but it sure helps when you have that special budget to do really creative things. But instead of measuring things like we'd like 1,000 trips or 1,000 guests, we say we'd like less trips, higher volume of spend, and deeper impactful experiences. So a really good example is, and again, this is a client who just trusts us, which we love so much, because then you have the creativity to do great things. He's been to Phuket and Chiang Mai. He's been to Chiang Rai. He's been everywhere. He's been to Bangkok. And he said, carte blanche, budget, you tell me, but I want to experience something in Thailand that nobody has done before. And so instinctively we thought, Isan. This guy needs to go to Isan. And we created, without exaggeration, a Bond level experience in Isan, ranging from military, police and military access to parts of the Mekong River that we took jet skis up. We had a royal villa. We helicoptered to sacred sites. We had the equivalent of an Isan voodoo gypsy ceremony in a cave, a Mal Lam party in a forest, things that were right out of a film. And the trip was layered with these surprises that he didn't realize were surprises until later, and it all came together just a fabulous crescendo. So it wasn't a tour, it was a life-changing experience for a guy who has everything. And one person, plus 2 or 3 of his assistants who came on the trip. And a trip like that is, I mean, the revenue is significant, but the local gain, the local result is that so many people win. Villages, art groups, performance groups, chefs, everybody wins. So more of these $100,000 short trips into unique parts of Thailand that are outside the mainstream. And I hope Thai tourism subscribes to this theory. I know that all the people in TAT, they do believe this.
They do. We want quality rather than numbers.
Exactly. It's not about...
But you're right up there as an example of what we should be doing, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's, again, it's easier said than done, right? I know that measuring numbers of arrivals is an easy measurable metric, but if we expanded that and said, how about the average spend per arrival group or per market share, or length of time in destinations outside Phuket, Chiang Mai, Pattaya, Hua Hin, right, outside the mainstream. That's really what sustainability is. And to me, luxury and sustainability go hand in hand. So that's exactly where Smiling Albino wants to be.
So, with me and the audience, we're about to pack our bags. Where is Smiling Albino recommending that we go for 2024? What's your top destination that you would suggest?
We're doing a lot in the far, far north of Vietnam, up in Ha Giang area, because there's some fantastic luxury villas that we've been doing trips up there with e-biking and bamboo rafting and hiking and helicopter access in and out, which is absolutely brilliant. We're big and always have been big on Isan. I still think Isan, though logistically a bit clumsy.
It's the final frontier of Thai
really
tourism, isn't it?
It's Thailand, and I mean this nicely, it's Thailand 30 or 40 years ago, because it hasn't been affected in the same way as the larger destinations. And there's everything. There's adventure, there's nature, there's real deep culture and food, and some lovely places to stay, private villas and things. So we're really big on Isan. My heart is always in the north of Thailand. Chiang Rai is lovely, but I'm also a big fan of Pre and Nan and these Payao, these fabulous communities where, again, we've taken very high net worth clients who normally would prefer a Four Seasons or an Amman type experience, but they've trusted that to go an inch off the map provides a deeper level of value when it's choreographed right. So all of those places, I don't know if I answered your question, but all of the above.
Okay, I'm ready to go to northern Vietnam.
There it is.
As the first stop. I just have to squeeze in one final question.
Yeah.
How about glamping? What's your view of glamping? Because it's glorious life in a tent.
Sounds good.
Would any of your clients come to you and say, Dan, high net worth individual, put me in a tent?
No, to be completely honest. They say, carte blanche, you tell us where to stay. If it's a log cabin or a luxury tent or a hotel or a villa or someone's private home, you tell us what to do. So it's more about the narrative rather than the physical equipment. Okay. I think it can work if it's done well. I know there are some really nice places up in northern Thailand that blend the idea of a luxury camp with proper cultural immersion and supporting local communities and things. And I think it works there. If there's too many of them, it becomes somewhat inauthentic. But I think there's not too many of them. There are not too many right now, and it works for that segment of the market. I don't think it's right for the ultra high-end traveler coming here. Africa? Yes. Not necessarily Southeast Asia.
Dan, thanks so much for coming in here today and sharing all this interesting story of Smiling Albino. I'm not going to keep you more because I know you're going to get on your bike and start scouting more destinations for your clients. But thanks again. And thank you for watching Trends. If you like the conversation, please like and subscribe, and see you next Friday.